I'll take the hat off.
You can keep the hat on if you want, Harley.
No.
It's okay.
Look
Yeah,
at me.
I'm not going to be offended if you leave the hat on.
Yeah, no. I think people might see you and be like, "What's going on there?"
Or the people who are
But-
the people who are just listening to this are going to be like, I don't even mind.
what is this hat?
Yeah, I can't even
They
tell.
just hate the idea of the hat.
They hate the idea of it. That it's like Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when he's like, "Oh, I don't like hats, not on me or anyone else." Okay, well, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 8. Man, it's crazy that that's a lot of episodes.
Made it this
Like
far.
Yeah.
3 more than 5.
Yeah. But this is A Piece of Our Minds, a podcast about the creative process, starring 3 amateur creators, artists, whatever. I mean, it's kind of starring.
We are stars in our own
That's
story.
true. Yeah. You know what? That's very poetic, and that actually kind of ties into the theme for today. But my name is Xander. As always, I'm the pseudo host as of last week. I'm joined by my 2 lovely friends, Harley and Aaron. As always.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
And
I am Harley.
And I am Aaron.
yes. So now you can identify their voices or their Zoom windows if you're listening to this, watching this on the YouTube version, which is appreciated.
I tip my hat to you.
So
Yeah.
I wrote down in my notes that the first thing we need to do this week is that you guys need to accept my apology from last week.
Let's get this out.
So I'm very sorry, and I hope you guys can find it in your hearts to forgive me.
I don't know, man. This is gonna be tough.
Come on.
But I think I can forgive you.
You think? Okay. I appreciate that.
I think I can forgive you too, just a little bit though.
Guys, I'm gonna start crying.
You better.
I'm gonna start crying.
That was such a heartfelt acceptance.
It was. I accept your acceptance of my apology.
Uncle Xander has emotional breakdown on the podcast.
Xander. Man, I rewatched Into the Spider-Verse last night and this morning, and I don't know why, but it was getting to me emotionally. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah. It was weird because that movie's never I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies, but it's never done that to me.
It is indeed a great movie.
So that was interesting.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. And that kind of brought up the idea of thinking about protagonists because while I was watching it, I was really thinking about Miles Morales. And I'm like, why do I like Miles so much? It's because
he's Spider-Man.
Because he's spicy.
Spider-Man.
Spicy. So as always, we like to do a little. It's not really an icebreaker. I always call it an icebreaker, but it's not really.
Yeah.
It's just like a question to get us warmed up.
Yeah.
It's like our question of the day.
Question of the day. Question of the week.
Question of the week.
Question of the week.
So we already.
How much cheese do you eat daily?
Lots. Actually, legitimately. If we're being real on this podcast, I eat a lot of cheese in a single day. This is keep it real time with Xander.
We gotta be honest with the audience.
No, I bought some of that natural homemade artisan mozzarella.
Oh,
I don't know.
Dude. Oh,
it's so good.
Call it mozzarella.
Good. Mozzarella. Okay, mozzarella. I don't know.
No.
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella. It's another way, a more different way of saying
Shut up.
What?
We're talking about mozzarella.
We're gonna get a bunch of people in the comments just it's pronounced mozzarella.
No, but there's 2 different ways to pronounce it. There is.
Wait, do we have an actual question of the week?
Yes, it's not just about cheese.
It's not about cheese.
No, so I know one of the first episodes we talked about our favorite characters. So I didn't want to be who's your favorite protagonist? So for this week, I decided to do who is a protagonist that you look up to? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Spider-Man because Into the Spider-Verse was making me choke up a little bit earlier today.
But like just the Miles Morales one or all the Spider-Man? Like just
like
Spider-Man as a character.
Spider-Man as a character, especially with like
Okay.
in Spider-Verse when they talk about the whole idea of like anyone can wear the mask, like we're all Spider-Man. Like that's
Yeah.
a very motivational thing. And it's just
Yeah.
Spider-Man more as like an idea of like just
Being
I don't know.
awesome.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
just
mean,
like being a good person, being like
I would say
standing up for what's right.
Spider-Man 2. I think just because
That's a great
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2 is a great movie.
No. But
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But
Oh,
just because
no.
like Spider-Man was really the first superhero that I ever got to know, and like I love
Did you like
Spider-Man.
Did you guys like get lunch and like have a nice like a nice chat? Like you got to know him.
Yeah, I did actually. He's a pretty cool guy. You know, he's just trying to live his life, go to school.
Mhm.
You know.
The other thing I love. Sorry, not to cut off this amazing anecdote about you having a date with Spider-Man, but
yeah.
But the thing I love about him too is the whole idea of like he goes out and saves the city and then he goes home to like this crappy apartment and he like goes and opens the fridge and there's like a few eggs in there and he's just super broke.
And just like a carton of old milk.
Yeah, it's such a good like dynamic.
Yeah.
Like he's so selfless that he just lives in like squalor to like help protect
to do
the
it
city.
at that young of an age, like to
Yeah,
have that
like,
thought process.
Canonically, wasn't he like 14 when he gets bit?
Yeah, he's like he's so young.
He's like super young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just very motivational, like especially to like the youth that we are.
Yeah.
The youth. I didn't think much. Harley, any protagonists besides Spider-Man?
Well, I was gonna say Deadpool, but like he's kind of like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But more like because like he has so many hidden qualities about him. Because like I read this one comic. Of like he had like a daughter in the comic or something, and like somebody like kidnapped his daughter, and then they like ordered him to kill this, and why is my connection unstable?
I don't know. I got out most of what you were saying.
So, yeah,
but okay. She's like in bed, and he like comes and he's like, I have to save my daughter, and she's like, I get it. I totally get it, bro. And she's like, yeah, I have a daughter too. He's like, oh no. And so like she's like, don't at least don't make it hurt. And he's like, don't worry, I already did it. And because he like poisoned her, and so like she just like dies in bed, and he's like super sad because like she knows exactly. She was like totally accepting, just like, I know I would do anything to save my daughter, so just do it. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And so like
ouch.
Deadpool didn't want to, like, he was totally like broken up about this. Like he was emotional wreck, and I'm like, there's so many hidden aspects of Deadpool that you just never see, because he's a lot like Spider-Man in the fact that he hides behind like that goofy personality,
like a persona.
Yeah. And so like he's just one of those characters that like I like just because there's so much hidden about him that is so good, and you just don't see it a lot.
Yeah, having that depth is definitely important. And that relatability, 100%.
I'm glad that you brought that like a parent saving their child aspect, because like I like protagonists like that will do anything to save their child. Like that's such a respectable quality in a human being. And To be honest, I think if you went around and asked a lot of parents, like they would feel the same way. So it's kind of a realistic point of view, like being a parent and
Yeah.
everything. But it's always so nice to see that.
Yeah, and uber relatable too,
Yeah,
which is great.
yeah,
Because I feel that the problem with some protagonists, I feel, is that like they're just bland for the sake of like relatability. So like you can just like insert yourself into them
yeah,
and like be like, this is me. Like I'm the superhero. I'm
yeah.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
No,
So that can
But
be
you
that
can't
can be an
like
interesting trap fall.
yeah. Because like you don't want to water down a character just so
Yeah.
everyone can fit into it.
yeah,
But you want to. It's interesting because like with if there's two ways to make a relatable character because like there's what you could like water it down and make it so like there's an aspect of them that everyone can relate to, or you can then just make it like a super common aspect, or you can just like give them a whole bunch of depth and a whole bunch of different angles to look at the character, and that's another way that you can make him relatable. So like people
yeah,
can like pick out different aspects instead of just having one that relates to everybody.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is important. Very
No.
important. Yeah. Beautifully put.
Yes.
I have no words. uh
I don't know where.
where?
Oh.
Oh, did we lose Harley?
What?
We lost Harley for a
It was
second.
we lost Harley.
Did we lose?
You're back. You're back. You're good. It's all
Oh,
good. It
thank
was
God.
only for a little
Okay.
bit. So yeah, I think that brings up some good points about protagonists that we talked about a little bit. With what?
You started talking a little differently. Like that brings
Oh
up
yeah.
some
Bring up some good points about a protagonist.
Yeah, and then you're over there like, what? What did I do?
Well, I didn't realize it. Okay,
Oh, God.
man. Maybe I can slip into my 1920s reporter voice like sometimes. That's not even I don't even know what voice that is. Like gonna go. I can't even think of a bit right now. I can't even think of a bit. Whatever. Okay, so for the bulk of this episode, I wanted to dive into the protagonists that Harley and I have created within our novels, and also another protagonist that I know is near and dear to hopefully a lot of our viewers' hearts.
Yes.
Yes. So I guess I can go first. I guess. Thank you. The thumbs up is great for mostly an audio podcast, Harley.
You're welcome.
We just need to notify the audience.
Yeah. Thank you. No. Okay. So the protagonist of my novel, his name is Tom Locke. Some making him interesting, I guess, has been a struggle, because a lot of the core of him, I guess, as a character is his conflicts between like reality and figuring out what's going on. So I feel like he can just come off as like kind of brooding sometimes, or like edgy, like like Sonic the Hedgehog. No, it's not Shadow.
We're not gonna get back into it.
We're not gonna get back into it. I'm just trying to think. When one of my thinking ticks is just my mind immediately goes to Sonic Cannon. I don't know. So the ways I'm trying to make him like more relatable and interesting is just trying to relate like those ideas of him not knowing what's going on to a more like base like human level, of just like, because we all have like those moments where like we don't know what's going on, especially like now, like where we're at in life with like just like right out of high school, not knowing what the hell we're doing. So I'm really trying to tap into like some of those kind of emotions.
Yeah.
For Tom.
Like, I do not know why. I don't know who I am or why I'm here.
Yeah.
All I know is that I must kill.
Yeah.
Maybe not that. Maybe not. Maybe that's going a little too far.
That just reminded me of that stupid like Russian guy where he's got like the face mask on.
What?
You've never seen that before?
No.
No.
Oh, like the
He's
meme.
got like
Okay,
the
the
he's
meme.
got like the
Okay.
pistol, and he's got like
Yeah, he's like, I don't know who I am, but
he's
yeah.
got, it's
Okay.
good. It's a good one.
Maybe not that far, but no, he's just like, like kind of like a fish out of water, like,
Mhm.
and he's a lot of, he's very like sarcastic and quippy, I guess,
Mhm.
and I feel like that's kind of like a little bit of a defense mechanism, I guess. And
So
he's
I
he's
think
like trying to be like smooth and stuff to like
mhm.
Yeah.
just
I
make
think
it.
I think a lot of like the younger audience could relate to that.
Mhm,
Like people our age and like maybe a little younger, where like
mhm.
they're still finding themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess anybody
Yeah.
finding
yeah.
themselves.
I feel like everyone. No, that's the great thing about being human is that none of us know what we're doing. And we're all just
Yeah.
That
here.
is, you're
It's a
just like,
wonderful
oh,
time.
Yeah.
so this is what I'm doing now. Got it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah. Okay, like that's
That's
yeah.
pretty much what life is.
Mhm.
You're just like, we're doing this now.
Yeah. Like I don't know if there'll ever be a point where like I'll feel grown up, or like if anyone feels like I have aged like further than like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think there's moments where we're like, dang, like I'm definitely not
Mhm.
like 12 years old anymore. Like,
Yeah.
and then you reach a point to where it's like, dang, I'm not 16 anymore.
Yeah, like
Like, it-
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 20 in a few months, and that's like I do not feel that old. I feel
But
12. Like I
it's
feel like a little kid.
it's like maturity is a mindset, and like
Yeah.
growing up is a mindset. It's
Mhm.
just like if you decide that you want to stay young, then you can just act young
Mhm.
if you want to, and nobody's gonna stop you. Sure, you might get some weird looks, but you're still you.
I think it's accepting the responsibility as you get older too, though. Like, there's definitely like a give and take aspect. Like,
Mhm.
be young at heart, but don't be like,
Well,
like,
yeah.
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 So
Like it's be like like there's a point like where you feel like confident in yourself.
yeah,
And
yeah.
confidence is like a journey, like finding that.
Confidence. What's
Is
that?
there confidence in the
I don't
protagonist?
know. Tom, I don't know. I feel
Do you feel as though he's very confident?
I think he is. I think he
I think
is.
that's an admirable, and
Yeah.
like people like
Yeah,
that
because
quality.
you want your protagonist to be admirable. Like you want him to like be relatable and have their flaws, but you
Yeah,
want them to be like cool. You want them to
yeah.
be like interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and
And
I
be
think
like,
that
I'm looking up to this
ties.
person.
It's like
I think that ties back to our question of the week. Is like,
Mhm.
we talked about protagonists that we like, that we
Mhm.
look up to, but like now we're talking about but we've been focusing a lot on protagonists that we can relate to.
Yeah.
And I think like, you know, not only should we be able to try and relate to these characters, but we need to look up to them too.
Mhm.
yeah.
Because like not
That's a
everyone
good
can
point.
relate, but they can look up to someone.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
And
Yeah,
like
because like you can't relate to like Superman. Like
yeah, no.
but you can
Superman's the
like
least relatable character. Hot take.
but like I think if you tie it back to like Spider-Man, it's nice to relate to him, but it's also easy to look up to him because like he's had such like a hard life, but he's still
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
he's still out there quipping
Yeah.
and like
So-
Yeah.
making jokes
yeah. He's young at
and he's
heart.
still doing but
Oh gosh.
No, okay, but to be fair, I know you said that he's young at heart, but then again, he's still a teenager. Like
That's true.
he's still
But
high school.
that's
but there's like a lot recently, like with the older, like I know the Spider-Man PS4 game was like an older Peter Parker,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
20 something, but like
you
still,
know, older Peter Parker in his 20s.
yeah. But that's old. That's an older Peter than like we
Yeah.
usually get.
yeah.
He's 20, hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's a great. That's how you know he's a good Spider-Man if he hasn't died yet at 20.
Heck yeah.
And I think that's I don't know, like the whole Peter B. Parker thing. I guess
Yeah.
was such an interesting
It
idea.
was.
Yeah.
That was creative.
It was,
Like,
yeah. So for
yeah.
those of you who haven't seen Spider-Verse, what's wrong with you? And also, um, Peter B. Parker is this alternate version of Peter Parker, who's Spider-Man. That he's like 30 something, and he's just
Yeah.
like washed up, and he just doesn't. He's been doing being Spider-Man for so long that he just doesn't enjoy it anymore. He finds like no catharsis in it. It's just, it's so
Yeah.
interesting because Spider-Man's always like this, like upbeat, like kind of naive, like I'm gonna
Yeah.
be confident, do the right thing, and then he's this Peter B. Parker's like, nah. But he's
Well,
like
that's
he's so like,
like with that character, that totally ties back to what we were talking about, like with age and like
mhm,
growing up and
mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Man, we're having so
but
many like things like tying back today.
yeah,
Look at us go.
That's how you know it's a good day. When the motifs carry over.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Tom is confident in himself, but he's also he's trying to figure things out.
yeah,
Mhm.
But he's also like funny, and
Yeah.
I definitely, he's not super mature is one of the things I also want to do, because one of the things in novels, he's gonna like age a ton. He's gonna like grow up a lot by the end of it.
yeah.
So I definitely want to
Okay.
play. I want him to like mature, but also like keep a little bit of that like spirit to him
Yeah.
to make him an interesting and look upable protagonist.
Look upable.
Look
and
upable.
Admirable.
Admirable. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Harley.
Harley.
Yeah. So yeah. All right.
I thought you just
Lane.
were gonna respond.
Yeah, Harley's done with the
I think there's a
broadcast.
there's a little bit of a lag between when
Mhm.
I talk and when you guys talk.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And so
gotcha.
yeah. And okay, Lane, my protagonist. I don't want to mess him up because I don't want people to look up to him yet.
Oh, okay.
I want him to be relatable, but like I'd also want him to be like just another guy who is messed up and not like I don't want people to look up to him yet. I want that to wait until later in the book. And so like he's slowly going to develop into a guy with redeemable with like he's kind of redeemable right now, but like I want to give him more of a chance to be someone that you can look up to. And he's it's kind of fun talking about him as like a protagonist because like he kind of has that aspect where he's like uppity. Well, he's uppity when he's around his friends and like his family, but like I want to give him chances to be alone until like you see the real Lane.
Yeah.
Because like he puts on this facade of happiness and he's just like all kinds of messed up.
Yeah.
And like it's I think a character that is a lot like Spider-Man in my book is like actually like his friend Seth. Because Seth is just like this like super like funny guy and he just messes with him a lot and he's just making all these jokes. And so like Seth is going to be like his Spider-Man, except he's not going to be like a superhero.
Except
anyone can wear the mask.
Yeah. And like
Yes.
Lane is just like this messed up guy who is going to be struggling with a lot of stuff. And so like he's not going to be like a happy-go-lucky guy. And he's not going to be making like a whole bunch of jokes. He's not going to be like very happy because like if you're in this situation, it's kind of messed up to be it's kind of weird like if you're like a happy guy in his situation.
Yeah.
Because
No,
like
it's definitely understandable.
Yeah. I guess that's a good point with like I guess the protagonist doesn't always have to be like relatable or admirable.
Yeah.
I want him to be relatable in the aspect of like
Well,
dealing with
relatable. Yeah.
like I want him to be relatable to like people who are like struggling with
Mhm.
like their emotions and like dealing with stuff. Because like
Yeah.
I think there is a certain lack protagonists like really, really struggling with like their mental issues and emotions, like to an extent I'm going to with like depression and
Yeah.
such.
Yeah.
Because like I talked about
Yeah.
it, I do it in depth with Xander with it before, but like I'm not gonna reveal it because like it gets way darker than
Mhm.
some people might think.
Yeah.
And so I he's not going to be someone to look up to at like the beginning and middle of the book, but like as he develops as a character more, he's gonna slowly become uh someone who has dealt with his issues and is still dealing with them, but he's becoming better, and uh he's not gonna like just give up. And so that's who I'm trying to build as a character, and like give him like very redeemable qualities, just because like he struggled with like dealing with his demons quite literally. And so like but like he also came out of it
Yeah.
and became out of it way stronger than he was before. And that's when I want
Right.
people to look up to him.
Yeah.
And
And I
having that
think,
growth in and of itself is
yeah.
admirable.
Yeah. And
I
having
feel.
people witness that growth, like they'll
Mhm.
definitely recognize that and pick up on it and be like, wow, like we've seen this character development throughout this story, and that's just incredible to see.
Yeah. And that can make for very good protagonists.
Lane is my
Having that
boy.
development. Lane.
Lane.
I think I mentioned this before, but just the name Lane, I feel like is perfect. Because he's like this, he has this demon inside of him, and that makes him super powerful, and his name is Lane.
His name is
Yeah.
No offense
well,
to
'cause,
anyone
like,
named Lane. It's just
I told you like how I came up. I have the book sitting
Mhm.
on my desk
Oh yeah.
that has like the myth that
Mhm.
that I'm slightly basing it off of, and it's actually where I got like the name Lane from.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you explaining
Where
that. Yeah.
I think I explained in the special episode,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I think that's
Seth and
good.
Lane, dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of character growth, I believe there's a character that we are in the middle of seeing grow
Yes.
on a journey. I'm talking about Fat Zander,
Myth, the legend.
the legend, the man, the
The
myth, the legend,
legend.
the rise and fall of a legend. So Fat Zander is a character that is very dear to me because he is me. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've mentioned a few times, but there's a series on our YouTube channel, Let Us Rock Productions. Go like and subscribe. Called it's the Fat Zander Saga
Good
about.
promoting.
Thank you. About my rap alter ego, Fat Zander, who on his journey of becoming the patron god of rap in our world and kind of dealing with that. And I feel like so right now there's 3 Fat Zander short films essentially.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Right?
then
Yeah.
one spinoff.
And one spinoff, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got I Am Fat Zander, which is just like the beginning one, about like him being an arrogant POS and him like realizing like one of the interesting themes that I played with without even realizing it was just like being successful but being super like insecure about how real that success is, I guess.
I think you
but
really, I think, like in the first one, I think you really focused on the power of greed and like
yeah.
how that can affect you as a person.
Mhm. But I think it's just like I rewatched it recently, and it's Fat Xander he's so insecure, even though he's clearly like a super exaggerated success of like one of his albums he said went like quadruple platinum in a week.
Yeah.
And like like anything less than that he feels like as a like the whole joke of the entire thing was that like he's like gone down a little bit in his fame and he thinks it's like a tremendous thing, so he's so insecure about about who he is. And I never even realized like that was kind of the message. And then like by the end he's like, oh, it's not too late. Which I think is, I don't know, I'm after I realized that I accidentally stumbled upon that really good piece of character development. Like that's the theme that I'm really trying to play with more, because like in Too Fat, Too Zander, he like went on this, he like was trying to like escape his past, and then he got pulled back in, and then was betrayed, spoilers, and he was like trying to find out, he didn't really know who he was anymore. And then by the end he realizes, oh, I know who I am.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things, I'm so proud of the end of Too Fat, Too Zander.
It's a good ending.
When he like walks in the sunset and he's like, I know who I am. I am, and then it cuts off before he says who he is. So it's left ambiguous. I'm just really proud of it. I think that's it's a good showing that like he's still it represents that he's still figuring out a little bit and he's still growing, but he's more confident that he knows who he is.
No, I will say like watching it, like you see the character development, like to me especially kind of in the maturity of his character.
Yeah.
And so like watching it, I was like, dang, like this character is growing. Like we see different elements coming in with this character and like these obstacles that he has to overcome. So watching that, like definitely, like as a fan, to me, it made me like respect Fat Zander more as a character.
Well, thank you for being a fan, even though you've worked on all of them.
I didn't work on Too Fat.
You didn't work on Too Fat, Too Zander, right? I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to play a lot more. Writing Fat Zander has been really fun, and he's like a protagonist that I feel like I have a good arc set up for him, and I'm really proud of like what he's going, and I know where he's going. Like he's relatable, he's goofy, but he's still like he's still arrogant and like, but he's getting better. He's getting more likable, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is very important. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm very excited where he goes in Fat Zander 3. Which will hopefully start production soon.
Hopefully.
If not, it'll get delayed a long time.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited.
I'm very excited too. I hope that we can get everything figured out, because there's gonna be, this is the biggest thing that any of us have ever worked on.
Yeah, it's a big project.
It's a very big project. It's gonna take a lot of coordination, a lot of time. Yeah. So be excited for that.
Yeah. If we can do it, we're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's either gonna be done very well or not at all. Yeah. If we can't give 100% of our effort, we're gonna postpone it. Yeah. Until we can.
We want 2% the best of what we can do.
If not, we'll have something by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
We'll have at least. Let's be excited for that. We need to like present. I feel like we need to present something for this podcast at some point.
Yeah.
Because we're always like, we're artists, we're creators, and I'm like,
and they're like, where's
where show me.
Yeah.
Show me the art.
Yeah. So we will have art to show calm down, everyone who hasn't said anything,
Calm
because no
down.
one said anything. We will have art. So yeah, I feel like we got a little off topic in this episode, but I think it was a good episode nonetheless.
I think we stuck to the idea
I
of
think
protagonist.
this is the best. I think we've stayed on topic. Like,
Wait, really?
the last.
I think
yeah.
so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
we were
I think we
talking
did pretty
about
good.
rom-coms for forever.
that's
you know,
true.
we
We talked about
even-
cheese
even-
for like.
Even when we got off topic, we were still on like the basis of protagonists and like developing them.
You know what?
let's
Did
tell
we
our
develop?
audience.
Did we develop as characers?
think
we
so.
Did we get
developed
better?
Did we develop as podcasters?
Have we grown as podcast hosts?
The audience needs to let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments and the Apple reviews. And that leads very well into
Yeah.
our outro, I guess. So thank you all very much for listening for today's apparently the most on-topic episode that we've ever done of this podcast. It's a very monumentous occasion.
Also,
I'm very proud of
the
us.
shortest episode ever.
Yeah. Not the
This
short.
is
The
true.
first one was very short.
Yeah,
This one's gonna be a solid length.
Yeah.
Like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm proud of us. I'm
Let-
proud of what we've
let-
accomplished here today.
Anyone watching on YouTube, let me know what background I should do next week.
Yes, yeah.
Hey.
Everyone on YouTube put timestamps for every time Harley froze up in this episode.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, if you want to talk to us at all and complain about Harley's terrible internet,
I have my McDonald's Wi-Fi.
reach out to us on our social media. Instagram and Twitter are our primary / only ones. All of our ats are in the descriptions of every single episode, wherever you find it at. Speaking of where you found it at, you found it somewhere, which means what?
Yes.
Yeah,
that is
you found it
correct.
somewhere. Yeah, which I'm already like proud of you. Like, you're listening, you're having a good time.
You did it.
Yeah, you
You've
heard
made
it.
it this far.
Yeah, you heard about how much cheese I eat in an average day.
Yeah.
So
a
yeah, you're
lot.
having a great time with us. But if you want another place to listen to it, I have some suggestions for you. You can go to Anchor, which is the main place, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and finally Apple Podcasts, which I'm very proud of. Leaving reviews on Apple Podcasts is very helpful for us to
Yes.
grow.
Yeah.
Also, just listening to it in general is very helpful
Yeah.
us to grow. So I appreciate it. If you want a video version of it, you can go to our YouTube channel titled Lettuce Rock Productions. We don't have a official like a YouTube URL that I can plug
Yeah.
because we're bad.
Because we're bad.
Because we're bad. We're so bad. It's called Lettuce Rock Productions, and subscribing there is probably the best way that you can support us, watching our videos, telling us what you think of some of the stuff we've done in the past, and also, I don't know, just sending some love, because I always send you some love, because I love all of you.
There it is.
Yeah. If you tune in every Monday, this podcast is weekly. Tune in next Monday at noon for more love from me, because I will give it to you.
Yep.
I would just like, if you want love, just like, come on in.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, come on to a piece of our minds. We'll give you all the
We'll
love.
give you love.
Well,
Yeah, we will give you the growth and admiration
we
and the
love you all.
relatability that you
Yes.
need from a good protagonist.
Yeah. And one other thing we will give you is a piece of our minds.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that was
Solid.
so smooth.
That was so good.
I'm really sad because like nobody's gonna notice if they're listening that I just did like finger guns.
That's what you gotta subscribe to Let Us Write. All right,
If
everyone.
you want to see finger guns,
Watch the YouTube version.
Watch the YouTube version.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
thank you all. Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys.